Welcome to the Bonus Time Monster Truck Podcast, presented by MonsterTalk, your number one source for the latest news, results, and more from the monster truck world. Meet the hosts for tonight's episode, Ewan Ford and Jackson Morris. So strap yourselves in, because bonus time starts now.
Hello and welcome to the Bonus Time Podcast presented by MonsterTalk. I'm your host, Ewan Ford. Introducing my co-host tonight is Jackson Morris, who is usually the regular host as we get into this. A lot of stuff to talk about tonight as we get into the results, but how do you think this week Mosh Jam is going?
Well, it has been fantastic. And spoiler alert, guys, I'm very sorry. My voice is dead. I went to a wrestling show Friday night before Monster Trucks, and then I went to Melbourne shows, and my voice is completely destroyed. I'm also very sick, so I apologize for that. So thank you to Ewan Ford, ladies and gentlemen, for introducing the podcast for me, because I definitely didn't do it before and started laughing my butt off before. So as we said, we have a lot of stuff. I might get Ewan to read out some stuff for me because my voice is destroyed. But I'll start us off. We have some amazing results to talk about. And again, I apologize for my poopy, destroyed voice. We have Monster Jam in Vancouver, British Columbia. Tyler Menninger would completely sweep racing in the overalls at all four shows. He would also win wheelies at show 1 and show 4. Two-wheel skills at shows 1 and 2, as well as number 4, and freestyle at shows 2 and 3. Ashley Sanford would get the Sky Wheelies win at show 2, and Linsey Reed would also pick up a wheelies win at show 3, but also a freestyle win at show 4. So very interesting to see there. We also have Armando Castro getting a two-wheel skills win at show 3 and a freestyle win at show 4. Now, this is where we cover the amazing shows at Monster Jam in Melbourne, which I was so happy to see. By the way, if you haven't checked out the show footage, I have both shows uploaded on my YouTube channel, so make sure to check those out. So, for show 1 in Melbourne, Australia, we would see Charlie Porkin in, I almost said not Gravedigger, in Megalodon take the racing, freestyle, and the overall event championship, and Matt Cody and Gravedigger would win skills with an amazing tombstone off the backflip, which was pretty awesome. He rode it up on one wheel. It was very sick. For show 2, we would see Charlie Porker once again take the overall. He would also win these skills with quite possibly the best thing I have ever seen live. What an amazing save and move that he did. I still can't get over that. That's probably why I've lost my voice. It was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. He did a slap wheelie into the pond, rode it up on a moonwalk, and then a crazy save out of it. So that was pretty awesome. Good to see Blake Granger win two-wheel skills, and Bari Musawa in Black Panther take the freestyle win. Shout out to Bari with quite possibly one of my favorite freestyle runs of all time. Not necessarily because it had a wow factor, but it was really clean and consistent. There was so many slap wheelies, great momentum, a perfect backflip, and something that I don't think people would talk about enough. He started and ended his freestyle run in his pit stall. He finished the run by driving into his pit stall. I have never seen that in my entire life, and that was awesome. So shout out to Bari. That was an amazing freestyle run. So he got freestyle at Melbourne. We also have JSM Motorsports in Wildwood, New Jersey. Show 1 would see Preston Perez and Toxic sweep the entire show. Show 2 would see Toxic with Preston Perez take the racing win, with Corey Snyder and Illuminator taking the freestyle win. Show 3 would see Illuminator with Corey Snyder take the racing win, with Toxic and Preston Perez winning freestyle. So Preston Perez in Toxic is the king of the beach, with Corey Snyder and Illuminator in second, and Storm Damage with CJ Menti in third. So a huge congratulations to Preston Perez for being crowned the king of the beach in Wildwood. Ewan, I'm going to let you talk about the results for these, because I'm currently dying, and I think that you should read some of these out.
Yep, here we go. For Monster Truck Throwdown in Benson, North Carolina, Show 1 would see Nick Pagliarulo and Kraken take the 2L skills win. Jim Kohler and Avenger would take actually both racing and freestyle. And I guess I would assume overall as well, Show 2 would see Kraken with Nick Pagliarulo take the 2L skills once again, with John Gordon and Bad Company taking the freestyle and racing win. I have to say, real quick, before we get into the rest of the results, this was one of the best throwdown shows I have ever seen, ever. Hell of a lineup. But yeah, it was just a really good show. But we're getting sidetracked here. For Renegade Monster Truck Tour at the Buck in Quarryville, Pennsylvania, Saigon Shaker with Ryan Disherin would win Best Trick, and Toxic with Preston Perez would win Time, Racing, and Freestyle. Also, a quick note: Smoking was running on Toxic 2.0 with Corey Snyder behind the wheel as well at this show. A little quick fun fact: for the West Coast Monster Truck Nationals in Red Bluff, California, the 2023 West Coast Monster Truck Nationals champion is Mike Christensen in Vendetta. We do not have specific results for this event as there's no video out yet, but we hope to see it so we can see this awesome show, awesome 3 shows that they had there. And I believe that is it for the results for this weekend.
That is, and I just wanted to jump in. Isn't this the second time this year that we've seen another independent identity on top of either Toxic 1.0 or Toxic 2.0? Because we saw it was Sinistar
Yes.
at the Mount Pleasant show, right?
Yeah, Sinistar was on Toxic 2.0 once again, yeah.
Well, that is the end of the results, but we do have some fantastic news to cover. So, Elvis Liners is gone from Monster Jam. You heard that right. There's some very interesting news surrounding this. So, last Tuesday, believe this was the 3rd of October, he was removed from Monster Jam's website, both the drivers' pages and some of the event lineups. I believe he's still on, I think, Puerto Rico or something. But as of currently, he looks to no longer be driving for Monster Jam. He has removed Monster Jam, any mention of it, from his social media bios, which to me suggests that he's not driving. And from everything that I've heard behind the scenes, that is the case. I have a feeling that there is some tension between Monster Jam and Elvis. There was a very cryptic video that he posted on his Instagram at Monster Jam University where he did a bicycle, and it was very coincidental that when he was doing that, he also did a bicycle in Hampton. And if you saw the footage of that, which I'll play on screen now, he got out of control. He kept spinning and he hit the wall very slightly, not like a Manuel where he like landed on it. He kind of spun around and he hit it a little bit. Elvis barely grazed it, I would say. Whereas in the MJU video, he got it quite cleanly, if I remember correctly. So I have a feeling that, because I've heard that you're not really allowed to share anything from Monster Jam University unless you have, express permission. And obviously Monster Jam's allowed to share it. Unless you have express permission from Monster Jam, as of currently, I believe you're not allowed to share stuff. So for Elvis to do that, I think is very strange, very cryptic, and I think that there's something that we're not really sure of there. So I'm going to hand it over to Ewan. Your thoughts about Elvis and what has happened with him and what you think means for the future of his Monster Truck career.
I think there was clearly a disagreement between Elvis and Monster Jam over, I guess he has hit the wall, I believe. This is the 3rd time he's done it this season, I believe. Because in the past, he's had 2 fill-ins during quarter, I guess 1/2, and then once, I guess, during Hampton. But the last one wasn't that bad. But I guess with the video, it's kind of like he's saying, yeah, I can do it. That's what I got from that.
Yeah.
Proving that he can do it safely. Because I guess he was gonna try new moves for trying to beat Weston, even though that's kind of impossible. But and yeah, I guess they just disagreed on that, and I guess he gone. Maybe.
Well, hopefully, we do get to see him behind the wheel of Monster Trucks at some point soon, but we're not really sure what's happening there. Well, we have even more news, some breaking news from the Lucas Oil Camp. Cynthia Gauthier has announced on the latest Inside Master Jam episode that she is pregnant and will be taking the first quarter of 2024 Master Jam off. Linsey Reed will be replacing her and competing on Stadium Championship Series East in 2024. Very interesting news. They were really promoting this episode leading up to it. I remember when I was in Melbourne, they were promoting it. I'm like, what the hell's going on? It's just an episode about Lucas Oil and the Lucas Oil stabilizer, or the Lucas stabilizer. What's going on? Lo and behold, Linsey Reed is announced to be the fill-in for Cynthia Gauthier. Now, I should mention a really interesting fact. This is the third season in a row where a female Master Jam driver has taken time off due to pregnancy. So 2022 was Linsey Reed, 2023 was Brianna Mahan, and next year will be Cynthia Gauthier. Now, this creates a really interesting thing that the Arena Central now has two failed drivers, which is Jamie Sullivan and Weston Anderson. And I think we have Michaela Talachka and Brandon Talachka. So we have half the lineup not even known yet, because Linsey now is driving the stabilizer on East, and Elvis is completely gone. So I think that this is going to make for a very strange lineup whenever it gets announced, because they're going to need someone, I imagine, to fill El Toro Loco. They're either going to put another dog truck, so either Scooby-Doo or Monster Dalmatian in the spot. It's going to create some very interesting situations on this tour. So I'm going to hand it over to Ewan, your thoughts about this news.
I think the most interesting thing about this, obviously, Linsey Reed getting another shot in stadiums. Obviously, with 2021, she did not get put in the best light because she was going against the best of the best. But now she gets to try on Stadium East, and I've said that she could probably do good in her second roundabout this time. But what it means for Central is, like, as I said before, we kind of discussed this before the podcast, but Weston now definitely wins Central for good, unless they can get like Blake maybe to come in and at least have some sort of competition for Weston. Either they get somebody new or they put international drivers in. I would prefer international drivers because at least they have experience and it'll be more competitive. But either way, we're gonna see some really great Weston runs from Central. I guess Logan can also do. I guess they're gonna probably put Logan in Scooby, and they're probably gonna replace El Toro with somebody else, some other truck. And yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on it.
Well, we still have Manuel Solario. Excuse me. We still have Manuel Solario, who doesn't have a spot yet on the tour, or any tour, to be honest. So
Oh
he
yeah.
can slot in somewhere. There is quite a lot of drivers, to be honest. Now that this has happened, this creates some very interesting sort of tides that they can really. To me, it feels like with the drivers that weren't announced, it's a lot easier for them to slot into some of these tours. Because I remember when it first came out, we're like, oh well, there's still spots open. How are they going to announce these? So now, with these two drivers, well, Linsey going to stadiums and Elvis completely gone, I think this is going to be a huge shakeup, and we could see some different fields, fields of drivers in these tours, and create some really interesting pairings for the new year. Speaking of fields, we have the Superstar Challenge full lineup announcement. It will feature, I should also mention as well, that this does not include what teams these drivers will be featured on. Obviously, Todd the Duke and Amanda Castro have already been picked for their teams. These are the drivers that will be drafted to either Team Nitro or Team Neon. So, without further ado, here is your full lineup for the Superstar Challenge. Tristan England and Earthshaker, Colt Stevens and Thunder Roris, Camden Murphy and the Bakugan Dragonoid, Tom Manson, Max T, Caleb Blood, Soldier Fortune, Tyler Menninger and Gravedigger, Ryan Anderson, Son of a Digger, Jamie Sullivan, Monster Dalmatian, very interesting to see her there. Considering she's only started competing in stadiums the last couple of weeks, I think it's very interesting. Linsey Reed and Lucas Stabilizer. To me, it's a no-brainer. Cynthia now obviously is pregnant, and they don't, they want to put the truck in there. So Linsey Reed driving now makes sense. Chris Kohler and Monster, awesome to see. Tyler Duke and Megalodon. Oh, I just skipped a line. Excuse me. We have Bryce Kenny in the Grey Coast Mohawk Warrior. Corey Rummel in Zombie. Can you believe that? That is a super exciting and very strange pairing, as well as Tyler Duke and Megalodon and Jim Kohler and Avenger. As I said, Armando and Todd have been drafted. No one else has yet. So, very interesting. Corey Rummel in Zombie. Now, I think the only reason they did that is because Todd the Duke is already in Megalodon. So they don't want to have two Megalodons. They want to have variety. But even then, that doesn't make sense because they have two Gravediggers. Maybe it's because they want a Gravedigger per team.
Yeah, speaking of two Gravediggers, you forgot to mention the other Gravedigger. The Tor Adam is also there in Gravedigger, but we're gonna. This is a baller lineup of just some really really good drivers.
Yeah.
And then you also have Jamie in there who can. Maybe she can prove her medal in there at
Yeah.
the All-Star Challenge. Superstar Challenge.
I mean, it's
I'm getting
basically
mixed up.
this. It's basically
Yes,
the same thing.
but
I find it very interesting too. It's a kind of a telltale that that Jamie is in here because we were still thinking who's gonna have one of those stadium spots. I think it's on West. It's West. It's the West tour, right?
yep.
Yeah, there's still
Yes, it
stadium
is.
spot open. We've heard rumors. Obviously, we thought it was Tristan England doing something. It could be anyone. But Matt, well, actually, no, it can't be Jamie moving
Yeah,
just
it
here.
can't- it
But
can't
I
be,
don't
but
know.
yeah.
But you know what, right? The lineups always change, so it's always subject to speculation. Or sorry, subject to change. But I'm not saying
Yeah.
that she is moving. It's always a possibility, especially now with everything that's going on.
Yeah, but if it isn't Tristan, I'm gonna cry.
True. Tristan deserves a spot, whether he's driving the everyone's favorite rumor, the Ford truck, or it's Earthshaker.
Or Sparkle Smash, my favorite truck. We driving horsepower. My God.
I apologize to everyone who hates smokers' laughs. I've not smoked in my entire life, but I currently have one because I've lost my voice.
Bro sounded like the receptionist in the ocean. Dang it, I cursed. One make a joke, but I cursed instead. Okay, whatever.
Oh, damn it. I'm so dead.
The receptionist in Monsters Inc.
Mike Wazowski. Don't let it happen again. I'm watching you, Wazowski.
Mike. Oh God. But yeah, no, this is an incredible lineup that we have here. I really like this lineup, and we don't know when they're going to be drafted. I thought what would be really cool that they could do is if they went to, say, Sydney or Gold Coast, and they had Kristen Anderson in either Arlington or Houston, and they had the two at the stadiums, and they did a thing at each venue where the team captains announce who they're going to pick. So Barry in Australia would pick who he'd want to see, and then Kristen at, again, either Arlington or Houston pick who they'd want to be added. I think that'd be really cool, but I don't think that's going to happen. That's just a dream that I want.
It's just gonna be another game show to pick.
It's another game show. It's tic-tac-toe. Well, I hate to change the mood so suddenly, but we do have some tragic news. Jason Yonkers, the driver of Short Iron, has passed away. It was a couple of days ago. I believe it was before the Melbourne shows. Jason Yonkers, of course, the driver of Short Iron, has done a lot of monster truck throwdown shows, had a lot of memorable moments. The truck may not have been 100% the whole time, but Jason Yonkers was such a passionate driver, a passionate individual, and everyone over social media has been sending out the condolences. And me and Ewan both would like to send out our condolences to the Yonkers family during this tragic time. It's terrible when a driver passes away. It's even worse when it's a driver that is a lot younger and not like, older. Obviously, it's still tragic to see a driver passing away, but when it's someone a lot younger, it hurts even more because it's so unexpected. Like one day you're like, oh my God, I remember this driver. I remember them here. And then the next minute they're gone. So once again, uh, I would like to send out my condolences, and Ewan would as well, to the Yonkers family. And I really wish them the best through this tragic time. So, very sad news. And I wanted to pay my respects and continue to do so. I don't want to kind of change gears again, but we do have the MonsterTalk 5 of the Week that is coming up now, where we get to showcase many of these shows and tours that are touring the globe. We have Monster Jam that will have 2 shows. And fun fact, both of the hosts for this podcast episode, myself and Ewan, will be going to these shows. So Ewan will be in Arlington, Texas, which will feature Brutus with Chris Kohler, El Toro Loco Mano Castro, Gravedigger Adam Anderson, Megalodon Corey Rummel, Monster Mutt Jamie Sullivan, Shaker Ryan Disharoon, Soldier Fortune Caleb Blood, Ryan Anderson Son of a Digger, Tailgater Tim Jones, Thunderoris Colt Stevens, and Wildside with Zach Garner. The other will be the second leg of the Australian tour in Sydney, Australia. That will be this Saturday. It will feature Black Panther, Byron Musawa, El Toro Loco, Chelsea Van Cleve, Gravedigger, Matt Cody, Iron Man, Brandon Arthur, Max D, Blake Granger, Megalodon, Charlie Porkin, Spider-Man, Bernard Knight, and Thor with Miranda Kozat. Let's talk about predictions. And I should also mention to Ewan that very interesting, we kind of knew this for a long time. It was speculated that, wrong track, that Bad Company with John Gordon was originally slated for this show. And he was booked another weekend. So we were trying to figure out who was going to take that spot. You get to see Tim Jones and Tailgater, which is pretty awesome. It's his redemption arc. And I want to hand it over to you, your predictions for almost at Gold Coast, Sydney and Arlington.
Obviously, I get to see both Andersons at the same show. I am excited. And I also get to see Tim Jones in his second ever Monster Jam event in Tailgater, which is, I get to see him hopefully do good at Arlington. Arlington always known for the slick dirt, and hopefully we can get another new people some wins. And I predict for Arlington at least that I think I haven't seen Adam in a while. I'll say Adam's gonna get racing and
Okay.
overall, and I'll give Son of a Digger skills. And I'm gonna say we're gonna give the freestyle champ Thunderoris the freestyle win.
Okay, I like that. Well, for me, I'll go over to Arlington and then we'll cover Sydney as well. I think that for Arlington, it's going to be Ryan Anderson taking the racing win. Skills, I'm going to give it to Ryan Anderson once again. And I mean, it could all easily be Amaldo Castro in El Toro Loco, but I'm going to give it to Ryan Anderson. Freestyle, I'm going to put out an interesting prediction. I'm going to say Chris Kohler in Brutus could do something really awesome here, especially since we don't know what the track is going to be. Could also be Thunderoris Colt Stevens. I would like to see that as well. They're a real event champion. I'm going to say it's down between the two Andersons, Adam and Ryan. For Sydney, there's only one show, and my thoughts for who is going to win is going to be a lot easier for me to pick. Racing, I'm going to give to either Blake Granger or Charlie Porkin. I'm going to put my money down at Charlie Porkin. Skills, I'm going to give it to Blake Granger in Max D. He has been hella underrated. In my opinion, the first show, I thought he got screwed by Matt Cody. He had an amazing two-wheel skills run in Melbourne Show 1, and he did not get the win. And I thought he had a chance of winning at Show 2 in Melbourne, but obviously Charlie Porkin had his moment. Freestyle, it's anyone's game. I want to throw out a wild card again. I want to say Bernard Light in Spider-Man. He has great freestyles. The one thing that I think he could improve on is his momentum. I've noticed, especially since seeing him live, he has this very weird technique of momentum. I'll put a video up on screen now. What he does basically is he'll sling it into a corner. Let's say he wants to go for the transfer, sling it into the corner, stop, slam on the brakes, let it settle, and gas it. And it's sometimes it's noticeable, and sometimes it's not. It's a very weird stop and sort of go momentum, but it's kind of good. I don't mind it. It's really exciting. So I think that Bernard Light will take that freestyle win in Sydney, and the overall is going to go to Charlie Porkin. So he's going to be 3 for 3 in Australian Tour overalls. So Ewan, I'll go back to you. Who do you think is going to take the wins at Sydney this weekend?
I think at Sydney, I'll say it's gonna be between two people the most, and that's Blake and Charlie. They were kind of the most consistent out of the 8 drivers that you have out there.
Yeah,
But I'm gonna go ahead and throw the wild card for racing. He's been known to get a couple race wins. That's Brandon Arthur in Ironman. I think
yeah.
he's probably gonna take racing. I'll put Blake for skills. I think Blake is probably the best skills driver on that tour, and there's kind of no competition except for Charlie sometimes. But I'll go ahead and give Charlie the freestyle win and the overall.
Nice. Well, actually, it's funny you mentioned Brandon Arthur because Brandon Arthur was the runner-up semi finalist at Melbourne Show 1. He lost to Charlie Porkin in racing at Show 1 in Melbourne, so he definitely has a chance. And I think it'll be really interesting because, as we saw, I completely forgot to mention, the track in Melbourne was a slightly different version of the Stadium Championship Series Blue track style that we've seen in the US. It was a little bit different, but it was very much the same. So that proved very interesting because it gave a lot of drivers a unique sort of perspective rather than the usual track style that we have seen. And I believe that we are going to get that track style again at Sydney, but not at Gold Coast, is what I've heard. So that'll be really interesting to see if the drivers can kind of continue that amazing flow and greatness that they had at Sydney and are able to double that up into the 2 Gold Coast shows to end off the tour. We have our Hot Wheels Monster Trucks live shows. There are 2 different events this weekend. We have the first at Worcester in Massachusetts this Saturday and Sunday. It will feature 5 Alarm, Craig Christensen, Bigfoot, Rebecca Schnell, Bone Shaker, Ashton Jensen, Demo Derby with Rudy Martin Del Campo, Gungster, Darren Schnell, Mega Rex, Jonathan Elkins, and Tiger Shark with Joe Cypher. We also have Portland, Maine, which will be occurring this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It will feature 5 Alarm, Cody Holman, Bigfoot, Cody Smith, Bone Shaker, Clint Watson, Demo Derby, Taylor Holman, Gungster, Eric Steinberg, Mega Rex, Mike Phelps, and Tiger Shark with Bobby Holman. We also have our regular stops, and since I'm dead, voice-wise, and Ewan, it's your segment, I'm going to let you read out all of these, and we'll cast our predictions for some of these and give our thoughts at the end. So I'll hand it over to you.
Yep, for the rest of these shows on the 5 of the week, we were starting off with WGAS Motorsports in Santa Rosa, California, with Enforcer Brandon Galley, Hillbilly Tim Manchester, Playing for Keeps Tony Candido, Scattered Lee Plato, Skull Crusher Shane Plato, T-Max David Tucker, Warhead Extra Large Mike Mentor, Wicked Strong with Jacob Galley, and 2 TBA trucks, I should say 2 TBA drivers for Jurassic Attack and Kamikaze, with the All-Star Monster Truck Tour in Rolla, Missouri on I believe that's the Saturday and Sunday, with Barbarian Devin Jones, Blockhead Darren Basil, Dirt Crew Jerry Beck, Dozer with the Jack Brown that also could be Maximus, with 1 TBA driver and truck. At the Malicious Monster Truck Tour in Chico, California, we have Cali Kid with Bill Payne, Identity Theft Miles Parker, Rockstar with Bill Payne, Spitfire with Nick Jones, and Weekend Warrior with Carson Williams. As we get into predictions for the WGAS show, what do you think, Jackson, for predictions for WGAS?
Well, I think that it's a very stacked lineup. WGAS Motorsports always has an amazing list of trucks. I think that the Team Throttle trucks are obviously going to do well. They always do well. Though you were saying that for Vancouver, some of them were running a little bit rough, but that could have just been a one-off thing. I do think that was interesting and worth mentioning. I think Wicked Strong has a good chance. Mike Mentor in Warhead XL is a great driver and truck. I think they will do well. I don't know all the competitions that they usually do for WGAS. But I'm going to say that it's going to be down between Shane Plato in Skull Crusher and Wicked Strong with Jacob Galley. And of course, some action from Jurassic Attack and Kamikaze. I'll give it back to you. Your predictions for these shows or this show.
Yep. It's gonna be I think it's gonna be between Team Throttle Monster and Wicked Strong, because they tend to go a little harder than the rest. But I guess the Blame for Keeps and Enforcer also tend to go hard. I saw them at Malicious show that I watched on YouTube, and they went big. And but it's gonna be between the Team Throttle and Wicked Strong. But also little fun fact, I've been noticing that the Mason Mentor, the son of Mike, has been driving Warhead XL a little bit more often. I wonder if we get to see that here as well. That could be very interesting.
Actually, you're absolutely right. I saw that it was last weekend that you're right, Mason Mentor, because I know that there was was either like a freestyle or something where Mason Mentor drove, and there was like very little fans that Mike had posted. That was like a test run, and then actually he did his first show last weekend or something behind the wheel of Warhead XL. And I think this is going to be a great show. All Star looks awesome. Malicious Monster Truck Tour looks awesome. And we do actually have one more show here. You've left it for me. I appreciate it. Thank you, Ewan.
I didn't scroll down.
Well, it gives me something to talk about. We have the 2 Extreme Monster Truck Series in Ocala, Florida this Saturday. It will feature Bounty Hunter Jimmy Creedon, Hot Tamale Mike Brister, Scarlet Bandit Dawn Creedon, Shark by Rob Poutre. Not that we were asking for predictions, but may as well. Last show in here. Shark Bite all the way. Maybe a little bit of Bounty Hunter. I'm going to give it a Shark Bite. Your thoughts?
I mean, it's the basically iconic at this point Ocala Speedway for, well, how long have they been doing monster truck shows for?
Oh God, a very long time.
Yeah, they've been there for a while. And now 2 Extremes picked it up after, I guess, Monster Jam kind of left it in like 2018-ish.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be a good show. I see it's gonna be between Bounty Hunter and Shark Bite for the most of the wins, but the 2 Extreme camps also very solid lineups always, so all of them could do good.
Absolutely. Well, that is the end of this week's episode of Bonus Time. And for those that could put up with my terrible voice the whole podcast, you guys are the MVP. I'm very sorry. Hopefully next time, for the next episode of Bonus Time, I will not only be feeling better, but my voice will be better. So thank you everyone so much for checking out this week of Bonus Time. And we'll see you with another exciting episode very soon. Remember to check out the full shows of Monster Jam in Melbourne that are already out now, and Sydney, which will be releasing this upcoming weekend. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.